Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Nerds Drink Whiskey. We're sitting here down at the nicest cigar shop I've ever been in. It's the first shop.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's the first cigar shop I've ever been in. But
we'll still take the compliment.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
hey. And we're again scamming Jeff's whiskey.
Yeah, I did run down to Oregon and buy a lot of it this last week.
Awesome.
So yeah, this week it's Bull Run Distilling Company's American whiskey, Temperance. So yeah, and that doesn't say a whole lot about it.
It's not a bourbon then.
No, it's not a bourbon. It's an American whiskey.
And what's the distillery?
It is Bull Run Distilling out of Portland, Oregon. And this is batch number 2. So they haven't been doing it for a whole hell of a long time. But we'll see what we think.
All right.
Excellent.
Maybe take a first sip. And by the way, we're drinking out of these fine shot glasses. Nerds Drink Whiskey shot glasses. We've got them. If you're within Thurston County, Olympia area, and you've got a charity event, and right now if you got a charity event, we'll come down and we'll give away shot glasses in a raffle. We got the raffle tickets and everything. We'll come down, raffle off our shot glasses for the charity event. We don't take any money. We just want to help different causes around our area. For those of you who are not in our area and just want to buy one, we're going to be having them available on the website very, very soon. So anyways, Nerds Drink Whiskey shot glasses. Go to our Facebook page, and maybe if you request one, or if you get caught sharing an episode, we may just send you one. So make sure to share all the episodes of Nerds Drink Whiskey. So yeah, share the
love.
Share the love. Yeah, yeah. I was going to say share the wealth, but there's no wealth in this. We spend too much money on cigars and whiskey.
There's no such thing.
Not too much.
Yeah.
A lot, but not too much.
This has got a really unique finish.
Really?
Maybe it's just me.
Maybe I didn't get a good enough.
It's got there's a fruity finish on there. It's kind of sweet.
I think fruity is a great way to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm curious as to know what's in this blend.
almost like a plum.
Is this a under 20?
No, but it's an under 30.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, none of the ones.
It's got a little more of a bite than the past 2 we did.
Which, it's funny you say that. This is lower proof than the last ones. Maybe not than the Scotch, but the Eastside Distilling's was 88 proof, and this is 83.
Eastside can do higher proof and go down smoother, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that was kind of amazing. I meant to mention that. That was an 88 proof.
Yeah. Now, just as a quick refresher, what cigar are we smoking?
Today we are smoking the San Cristobal Revelation, made down at the My Father factory in Nicaragua. Nicaraguan filler and binder, Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper. Really nice cigar. They retail for right around $9.50 in Washington State with our state tax. But I find it to be a really tasty cigar, kind of a medium-bodied. Right now, as we're getting into it, I'm getting a little bit more of the baker spice. I am noticing some of that cinnamon, some of the nutmeg. The cedar's becoming a little more prominent, and I think that the leather's becoming just a little bit more into play. And the black pepper that we got at the beginning of the cigar, I think has kind of faded a little bit.
Okay. Now, as Jeff pointed out, I'm the total noob on cigar smoking, and I'm a little behind. So while I'm going to go grab an after the bottle for this week, and maybe relight it a little bit, and
Sure.
take a couple of good puffs, and
So one thing that we had talked about too is when is a proper time to take off the band. And the thing with the band of the cigar is you don't want to take it off before you light it. The wrapper on the outside of a cigar is extremely fragile. And what will happen is when you take this off, you can actually damage the wrapper. So the best thing to do is smoke the cigar, let it get down to probably about a ½ inch within the wrapper or from the wrapper, and then take it off because it'll have heated up that glue and you'll be able to remove it without damaging the outside wrapper of the cigar.
That makes sense.
And so that's why I've still got the band on.
Are there any that, do you use more or less glue and therefore you can take it off earlier, or is that something you
No,
definitely
not that I know of. But it's, a lot of guys, what I notice is manufacturers, at least, because we kind of run in that world here at the shop, they'll leave their band on as long as they possibly can because they want everyone to know what they're smoking.
Right.
And then they'll take the band off when they put it in the ashtray because they don't want anyone to see one of their cigars that are unfinished.
Right.
So, but, I'm almost to the point, I don't know if the camera can quite pick it up, but I'm almost to the point now where I can remove the band. But it's not going to affect the flavor if you don't remove it, sooner or later. The only way that it'll really affect is if you get up to the band and you start burning the paper.
If you take it off too soon and you do damage the wrapper, will that affect your airflow or anything?
It can, yeah, actually, and it'll create cracks in the wrapper.
Okay. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to do a little bit of an after the bottle. So we got Westland American Single Malt, cask number 572. But this was as we were talking about proofs earlier, this is 108 proof, so it does have a bit of a kick. But I found that this, if you drink just one shot, maybe like a shot of whiskey before bed or whatever.
Does anybody drink just one shot?
Sometimes. It's a good nightcap,
I got a real problem.
Yeah, well, so this has got a bit of a kick. So if you're doing one, maybe two shots, I would highly recommend drinking this neat. If you do 2, 3, 4 shots, I would recommend drinking it on ice. However, one thing I've noticed is a lot of whiskey, a lot of people are trying to sell those big, huge, round globe ice cube makers, and I think that's actually too much ice. I would actually recommend doing the typical household ice cube size for your lowball glass, and that seems to be if the whole ice cube melts before you finish the whiskey, you're not going to end up with a watered down whiskey. Yeah, but highly recommended. This was absolutely delicious. As you can see, I've finished the bottle.
And
so
one of the things I like to do is, if I do put an ice cube in, you get the real strong, full-on punch of the straight whiskey at the start, and then as it melts, it kind of mellows, and it opens up some more flavors, and that might be one of the good ones where once the ice cube is melted, it's not going to hit you in the mouth quite the same way, and you're going to be able to, a little smoother and that kind of stuff.
Right. Or one thing I thought of is if you use one of those big ice cubes, maybe put it in a funnel, pour it over that ice cube, and they would work really well to pour it over that ice cube. That way you don't have you get it chilled, you get that little splash of water from the ice cube, but you don't get watered down whiskey. Mm-hmm. So if you're just pouring, maybe put the ice cube in a funnel, so that way it's kind of getting that covered, going over the ice, chilling a little bit, giving that little splash of water, but without watering down the beverage.
Or just drink it really fast.
Or you could do that, but I like to sit there and sip it and enjoy it, and so I'm more of a slow whiskey drinker. So I don't know, but I don't know. So any final thoughts on our featured whiskey here?
Love the finish on that. Like you said, it's got a very fruity finish. It's that's quite interesting for an American whiskey.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to know what the mix was. How much corn to wheat, barley, malt.
Yeah.
Rye.
I'm thinking less corn on this. I'm tasting less corn.
Yeah, and definitely not much rye, if any.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
Anyways, this is Nerds Drink Whiskey, and we're going to be back next week with another episode. See you then.